Willie D live.
What's up, family? As most of us have already done, Aries Spears took time to chime in on the Dave Chappelle recent comedy special on Netflix. And he addressed some of the criticism he, Dave Chappelle, and other comedians faced for performing at the Riyadh Festival in Saudi Arabia. Check it out.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Aries Spears here. Listen, man, I'm here in Dallas, and I just literally finished watching on the flight over Dave Chappelle's new special, and everybody's been chiming in on it. So here's my take. You know, I gotta tell you, man, before I saw the special, because I know he performed at the Riyadh Festival in Saudi Arabia, as did I. And one of the criticisms was people constantly saying, oh, you guys are over there getting that blood money. Now, before I saw his special, I hand to God, I actually was going to include something that he kind of said, damn near word for word. But I saw the special today. And I got to tell you, white people's hypocrisy and white America, and I say this with all due respect, white people and white people's hypocrisy is beyond fucking astounding. How quickly do we forget? So when you go, y'all over there getting that blood money, when has America's money never had blood on it? And let me tell you something. I've been doing stand-up 36 years. I've toured Africa twice. I've been to the Middle East finally. I've been to Europe twice, and I'm going back for a third time in 2026. But the mass majority of the money that ends up in my pocket is American money. So again, when has American money never had blood on it? This country was literally built off the bloody backs of my people. Free labor for 400 years, and slavery was big business. The American prison system, everybody knows that oftentimes black people receive harsher prison sentences and lengthier prison sentences than committing the same crimes as their white counterparts. And the American prison system is big business. So again, when has America's money never had blood on it? White America, stop it. Your hypocrisy is breathtaking.
I ain't got no problem with that. Yeah, fam, the hypocrisy is off the chain. I made a few other notes, man, about this blood money that people speak of, right? Because you know America has a long sordid history of profiting off blood money. Yeah, taking that blood money in. Now, Aries already talked about slavery, so we'll skip that. But what he didn't mention is the university endowments, the institutions like Georgetown and Brown University, who have been identified as benefiting from slavery. They got historical ties to the slave trade and the sale of enslaved people, where their endowments and operations have benefited from blood money. Let's talk about the opium trade fortune. Yeah, fam, it didn't just start this year or last year, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. It's been going on. Did you know in the 19th century, several prominent American families got rich off the illegal trade of opium with China? Yeah, fam. And what about war? Civil War bonds. Some historical analysis argue that financial maneuvering during and after the American Civil War involving banking and currency legislation created systems that allowed wealthy individuals to profit from war bonds and the subsequent control of labor, which critics have labeled blood money. And what about the military-industrial complex? Critics argue that the U.S. military-industrial complex profits from endless war and high-cost military interventions that fuel national debt and enrich defense contractors and politicians at the cost of lives. The term has been applied to corporate greed and wasted billions in conflicts such as the Iraq War. U.S. arms sales to nations involved in human rights controversies have been described as blood money by critics, highlighting situations where financial gain is prioritized over human rights concerns. What about the Trail of Tears, which was a land grab and an opportunity for them to steal gold? And this is a really good one right here, fam. You're gonna love this. The plasma donation industry. Paid plasma donations disproportionately affect low-income individuals. These people target the working class who physically donate blood for survival. Now, if that ain't the definition of blood money, what is? Now, they're respectable because, they got buildings and stuff and they go through government agencies and, all this stuff, man. They certified and went to school and stuff like that. So, they don't consider that blood money. Oh, and the recording industry. Now, we know the recording industry got blood on his hands, all over his hands, right? All over this country, fam, is blood money. Look at the alcohol industry. They sell us alcohol, and then they park outside of the club or the bar and wait for us to get in our car and drive drunk. Sometimes they catch us, sometimes they don't. When they don't, people die. In any event, even when people don't die, they're still getting paid. Like, yo, you can drink, but don't drive. You drive to the bar where you're gonna drink, and then we arrest you when you leave the bar. Come on, fam. Guns, the gun industry. They're selling guns. They're making these guns, and they know these guns are made to kill. And most of these guns are not being used to hunt animals. They're being used to hunt human beings. They're being used to kill human beings. When you look at these police departments all across this country who go to target practice, they're not at target practice to kill deer. They're at target practice to kill you, deer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's why when they have that target practice up there, they got you in mind. They got human beings in mind. Center mass, human beings. Yeah. So all over this country, blood money. Look at these factories that are allowed to set up shop in neighborhoods, primarily poor neighborhoods, right? They are fully aware that those chemicals are going to be airborne and that they are going to make their way inside of the bloodstreams of human beings and kill them over time. They know that the food and water is tainted with carcinogens and other dangerous chemicals, but they allow it anyway because of money, man. Money. It's always money. So I get exactly what Aries is saying. He ain't said nothing wrong. He right on the money. The hypocrisy. I'd never. No more talk.